The interesting thing about Karma is the fact that it came from an actual stage play. No Good Comes to Those Who Do Wrong, which was J. Lee Productions' first stage play. I decided that I wanted to do a film adaptation of that particular production. And so therefore I changed the name because I felt like the name was too long and came up with Karma. That was a big challenge when trying to turn the stage play into a film, but I think we did an excellent job of bringing the story to life on film. I think the audience is going to be pleasantly surprised. It's the same story, yet it's not the same story. There are different twists, there are new characters, there's just a different vibe. I think it's more adultish, it's more sexy, we push the envelope a little bit with it. I think with each production, it's definitely important to kind of push yourself and kind of take things to the next level. And I think we did that with this particular production. There is a big difference between stage and film. And I think, to take Karma or to take the play and to turn it into a film was definitely a challenge because there are certain things that look good on stage but might not come across good on film. It was very important to me to keep certain elements from the stage play in the actual film, and if you saw the stage play, I think you will and if you remember the stage play, then you might recognize some of those elements.
Hey girl, what's happening?
The casting process was kind of difficult because, we saw those people that was in the stage play because they did such an excellent job, and you kind of compare them to, the people that are actually auditioning.
Auditions is always difficult, and we had a multitude of talent to come out, and we had so many talented people to choose from. But it was hard for us to select someone because we kept thinking about the characters that previously played the parts. And so when we were in auditions, me and Jimmy kept looking at each other saying, well, that's not how Amelia looked, or that's not how Jocelyn looked, and that's not how she said that particular line. So it was kind of hard for us to kind of relieve ourselves of those preconceived notions of what the characters should be like, and so that we weren't actually trying to refill the same role.
When I auditioned for Kimberly, the role of Kimberly, but J. Lee was like, no, you look like Jocelyn. Could you go back and read for Jocelyn?
Do you know he didn't have the common decency to tell me to my face?
During the audition process, like 2 days before, me and my boyfriend broke up. And I was reading like the monologue, and I'm just like, wait, this is kind of like what I'm going through. So when I went up there and auditioned, it was like all the emotions I took from my breakup, it just came out in my audition. I was just like crying. I'm like, oh my God, I hope I didn't suck. But they seemed to really like it. They were just like, wow, like, okay, okay.
Another thing that was different in the audition phase of this production was we decided to do a read-off. As I mentioned earlier, we had so many people come out, and this was, I think, the first time we had so many people that were just good. They were great, and so we could not make a decision. We met, we argued, we were about to fight, and we decided to do a read-off. Now, what the read-off consists of was we picked several people who we thought could play the different roles. We called them all together. We let them know that it was a competition, and they read with one another and competed. After the second audition, it was quite clear, who each actor needed to be, which role each actor needed to play in the production. It was very clear, and it was something I think that we might look into doing in the future because it really helped with the selection process in a way I did not anticipate.
The cast in this particular production, we worked with some new people, We worked with some old people. Dre Nix was played by TZ, or Terrio Thomas. We've worked with him quite a bit in previous productions. I think each time we work with him, you know, he's able to we try to push him and kind of take him to a different level with a different character. And I think this character by far is one of the characters that, you know, is really gonna kind of stand out. I think you're gonna see him like you've never saw him before.
When I first started JD Productions in 2007, I never really wore a suit. I wasn't big on fashion. I just got out of a difficult situation, and I actually went to audition with a friend because he didn't want to go by himself. And he got scared, you know, he said he didn't want to do it. So I was like, you know, give me the script, I'll do it. You know, that's how it all started. And that's how I got my first role as Troy. And, you know, the ironic thing is, that was 2008, and the name of it was No Good Come to Those Who Do Wrong. And now come all the way to 2014, it's renamed Karma, and I got the lead role in it. To get into my character, I looked at a lot of movies, like Tyler Perry Productions, a lot of Terrence Howard movies, because he's very versatile. And the reason I had to do that was a simple fact, this role was so serious, and I'm used to playing, you know, comedy roles, you know, characters more laid back, you know, funny, but Dre was a very bold, dark, he was very physical. He wasn't a talker, he was a demander. He demanded things. He really didn't know what no meant when it came to his significant other.
Dre is definitely a character, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Then you have Danielle Love, who played Kelly Montgomery. Kelly is she's strong, but then again, she's very weak and very gullible and very naive. And I think Danielle embodied all of those different emotions and different elements and different levels to that character.
I was very excited about this film because it's my very first one. I'm used to stage acting, so this was a challenge for me in more than one way. For one, it was my first film, so that was just a challenge within itself. For two, the character that I played, Kelly Montgomery, she's the complete opposite of my real life character.
Who's this, bridesmaid? Are you a bridesmaid?
I'm a maid of honor.
Oh, you're a maid of honor. Okay, so how
Shayla.
are you related to the bride?
Well, Shayla and I are best friends. We grew up together. She's particularly weak when it comes to her man, Dre. She's one of those types of women where she would do anything to please her man, and I mean, that's pretty much it. Whatever he says goes. So that was challenging, but yet exciting at the same time. I was very excited to see and to find out what different elements I could pull out of myself to portray the character of Kelly. It was rather complex because Kelly went through a whole lot of transitioning in the film. Kelly had different looks that she went through. She went through so much emotionally in the film and just in her personal life. So playing the role of Kelly was definitely something that I had to internalize as myself, as Danielle, and try to connect Danielle with the character of Kelly to try to put forth and bring the character alive as she was written.
Danielle's character was a character that had a lot of physical things done to her. And I will say Danielle, the actress, is very, she's willing to do whatever it takes to make the character come to life on film or stage.
Kelly encountered, I'm not really sure what you would call it, but she got banged up a bit, for lack of better words. So me, myself, I suffered a strawberry. If y'all remember what strawberries are, that's when you fall on your knee and scrape it up. So I got a strawberry one time, and there was a scene where there was a little bit of a tussle going on. So I kind of injured my elbow a little bit, but I didn't have to go to the hospital or anything. I didn't have to sue J. Lee Productions.